Welcome back to Black News Tonight. Our next guest is a basketball icon, and of course, he is one of the greatest power forwards of all time. I'm talking about none other than Kevin Garnett, the Hall of Fame NBA player, the 15-time NBA All-Star, the Olympic gold medalist, and yes, the businessman. Garnett, he has impressive moves, but they're not just limited to the basketball court. He's been lifting up his community through sports with the Hoop It Up tournament, all the while supporting the financial empowerment of Black people with the National Black Bank Fund. Here to talk about that and so much more is Kevin Garnett, owner of Hoop It Up and member of the Corporate Advisory Board of the National Black Bank Foundation. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it. It's an honor.
Honor's mine, brother. Studies show that Black applicants are denied mortgages and bank loans at higher rates than white applicants. What is the importance of having a Black bank?
Well, first off, I think Black banks are important for our own culture. They understand community. They understand what our community needs. A lot of people don't understand how banks work, period. They work off of debt. And I think it was like 10 years ago, we had 50 banks, and now I think privately owned by blacks. And now it's like down to 18 to almost 15 banks. But it's important to be part of your own culture. It's part of understanding your community and developing that community. You know, when you go into the Asian community, their banks and their community create opportunity for each other. And you can go on with any culture and any race. I see Black people as being similar to those cultures, no different.
Absolutely. And I love how you frame it, right? It's not about bringing anyone down. It's about lifting up our own communities and doing for self. And you have a role
It
with the
is.
National Black Bank Fund. What exactly is that role? How do you do that? What exactly are you doing?
I'm advisory. I'm advisory. An ex-professional player that is bringing expertise and what I know young athletes to be like in their experience with money and young capital. And if I can, I guess, share my wisdom and my experiences with others and be able to promote or create a plan to not just bring in capital to these banks, but bring other opportunities in developing, creating opportunity for young men that have capital and are looking to invest, things of that such.
That's important, man. And using your wisdom and your
It is.
expertise, not just in the basketball court, but also in other domains, is so critical because so often people underestimate what Black athletes bring to the table beyond just the field or the court. But I do want to talk a little basketball with you because in 2019, you became
Yeah.
the owner of Hoop It Up, which is the iconic 3-on-3 basketball tour. I grew up doing Hoop It Up, watching people do Hoop It Up. First of all, that's just amazing that you're doing that. What are you looking forward to seeing at the tournament, which is, I believe, next week in Atlanta?
Yeah, we're having a tournament in Juneteenth in Atlanta. We're looking forward to it. During COVID, we had no. This will be our first event out of COVID, so we're super gassed about that. But I am looking for talent. We're always looking for the next level, level of talent through all ages. Hoop It Up is a platform for young kids and young community to come out and have a bunch of fun. We just started an empowerment program in which owners of the community can come out and have their own Hoop It Up for their community, which is very important. And we're preaching, and we are really, really preaching empowerment here. So we hope everybody in the Atlanta area comes out and enjoy the event and support the event and come out and have a great time. Should be a good one.
Kevin, if you were playing Hoop It Up against the best players in the world, who would be your other two?
Oh my God. In a perfect world, I'll probably take Ray and Paul, but at some point I'll probably have Shaq. Probably be like our fourth man because you got to have a sub. So yeah, I would take some versatile players. Kevin Durant would be an honorable mention. LeBron James would probably be an honorable mention. But just right off the top, I'll probably take my own two counterparts, Ray and Paul, and go and Shaq to be a sub in my Hoop It Up.
I like that. I like that. When you think about your career and you think about the team that y'all put together that won the NBA championship, you're close enough to this era to compare. How do you think that Celtics team would do in this NBA right now?
Well, we were a team that could score the ball and also play defense. A lot of the style you see now is open, it's very free, it's freedom of movement. The league is actually prioritizing scoring, and then when the playoffs come to play, I think you start to see a prioritization of defense. And I like to think that we can meet any challenge. We're a very very competitive team with a bunch of cast of characters on it. We was coached by one great head coach and some great assistants, and Tom Thibodeau, and being led by Doc Rivers. I think we did fine in this era. It's not I think our era was a little more physical than this era. But the fact that we could score the ball the way we could and actually defend in different ways, I think would give us a more of a standing chance in this era.
Straight up, can y'all beat these Brooklyn Nets this year?
You got to play defense against the Brooklyn Nets. You got to know your assignments. I think that if we put our minds together and our efforts together, we could beat anybody. I mean, the Brooklyn Nets obviously have to have a three-headed monster, and they haven't even added on James Harden. So I'm looking to see what that looks like when he gets onto it. But I like to think that we can beat anybody that we put our minds to. Absolutely.
I initially didn't want to book you on the show because I'm a Sixers fan and you played for the Celtics, so that kind of put you on my cancel. I had to cancel you for a little bit, but now that you retired, you're allowed back on the show. But when you look at the Celtics organization right now, it seems to be a little bit in flux. There's, people are leaving. Of course, Brad Stevens is moving up. Danny Ainge is leaving the executive suite. What do you think about the changes?
I think the changes are going to be better. I think Danny Ainge had a good run, and he put a team together that was as competitive as he thought he could put together. I think Brad Stevens is a little more embedded in this day and age, at least with these kids and how they play. So, I mean, anything the Celtics do is going to be to better their organization. So, I look forward to seeing what these days look like. But I see them improving, and with the Celtic Nation, it's not a lot of give in that. You gotta, the people want to win now, and they don't really want to wait in the process. They want things now. So I see them getting better though.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to.
Yeah, y'all definitely don't trust the process. Y'all definitely like we gonna win this thing now. So let me ask you, because you talked about the Celtics organization doing what's best for it. There are people who have a lot of criticism of Danny Ainge in particular for saying, look, they do people dirty. Kemba Walker wants out now. Isaiah Thomas, felt away the way they dealt with his injury, where he in many ways lost hundreds of millions of dollars maybe, after his major injury, playing for the Celtics in the playoffs. A lot of people feel like Danny Ainge lost the credibility, lost the trust of players and agents around the league. Would you agree with that assessment?
I think that if you go through any organization, I'm sure if you go through Philly's organization, you got some guys who have had some bad experiences. I can see Boston being no different from that. Danny Ainge is human. He's going to make mistakes, although I think he's made some key additions. I don't think that he's always gotten it right. But he works hard, and, Celtics is in his heart. His passions in making the Celtics better come from not only playing with the Celtics, but being part of Celtic Nation. So, anything DA does, it's always from the heart, and it's always coming from a good place.
And coming from the heart is something that we always say is you, man. You play with heart, you play with passion. That's why we love you, man. Before you go, just tell me, what's next for you? I mean, I've been watching you do the broadcast thing, which scares me because you're coming for everybody's job. You're doing the entrepreneurial thing. You're growing in so many directions, man. What's next for you?
I want to grow Hoop It Up. I actually want to grow Hoop It Up. It's a platform that I feel like has a lot of potential to it and can be better. I'm also into film and movies. I've Content Cartel. I got into productions with a couple partners about 3 or 4 years ago, and I'm looking forward to having some programming on some of the stations that we love to watch, some of my favorite movie and TV apps. And growing myself, man. I'm in the cannabis. I'm in the CBDs. And I'm looking to put it all together. So yeah, I'm just staying busy these days, like all of us.
Man, well, I gotta say, man, you turned out pretty good for a Celtic. I,
Thank you. I appreciate
we
it.
we appreciate you, brother. We want to support you in any way we can. So anytime you have anything going on that you're promoting, anything with the Black Banks, man, we want to support you because it's all about building our community, building our resources, building our funds, and empowering our people, man. So Kevin, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Man, thank you, man. And that message can't be echoed any louder, man. I appreciate you for having me on. And anytime you need me to be back on here, you let me know. It's my pleasure.
Yes, sir. Go Sixers. If you want to know more about his initiatives, visit blackbankfund.com and hoopitup.com. Make sure you support the brother.